Hey, Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All you amazing sisters in the Fariha network, I just would like to thank you so much for being with me during this 23 hours that I got. Say salam when you get into the room, let me know where you're listening from, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing a little glimpse of me and my life and what's going on in my neck of the woods. So inshallah today, there are a couple of things that I'd like to do. One of them is to share what I have come to see as the three rules or the three principles that I have used and that I'm teaching to everybody who works with me about how to really have a soulful Ramadan, especially in this Ramadan. So I'll be sharing some of those with you, and I'll also be sharing some poetry from my poetry books, because I thought we'll change it up a little bit because, we all have something special, I think, to bring to the table, mashallah. So I thought I would share a couple of my poems with you, inshallah. So the first rule or principle that I would love to share with you about not just this Ramadan, but any situation in your life where things have not gone how you expected or according to plan. And that is to reframe. Now, reframing is just one of the most powerful ways in which you can challenge your perception of your circumstances. Because at the end of the day, right, as I said in my videos earlier, your experience of life is not necessarily to do with your life circumstances alone, but how you responded to those, how you perceived them, how you remember them. Have you guys been in a situation where, you and somebody else go through exactly the same situation and you remember it one way, maybe in a negative way, and the other person remembers it in a really positive way? Well, both of you have been through the same situation, but you have held on to different aspects of that experience, different emotions, different memories, different triggers. So it's just some psychology thing, yeah? But it's true, that's how it works. So reframing is a bit like this. So here I am, right? You can see me, and hopefully you can see me. You've got I'm in the frame. You can see that mirror behind me, okay? What if I change the frame, right? What if I change the frame completely and do this? Oh, different view, right? Now, I'm still here. And even though you can't see the other side, you can't see the orchid and you can't see the chair anymore, they're still there too, right? What's changed is the frame. And so similarly in life, with relationships, with situations, the frame that we use will often determine how we respond to that situation, how we remember it, how we talk about it, how it computes in our brain. So if I use the frame of inconvenience, for example, to look at this particular Ramadan, or I use the frame of an unfamiliar and an unwanted strangeness for this Ramadan, for sure I could rattle off 1,000 reasons why this is going to be this is the worst Ramadan ever, okay? And some of those will be true, some will be distortions, but some of them will be true, right? It's true. We cannot visit as we normally would. We can't go to the masjid. We can't pray Taraweeh with the congregation. So many things, right? When we choose to focus them, that becomes our dominant memory, that becomes our dominant feeling about Ramadan, about this Ramadan. So my invitation to you is to reframe this Ramadan. Reframe it and choose the frame of gratitude. Choose the frame of opportunity so that you can start to see what there is to be grateful for, what there is that's amazing about this, and what is the opportunity here for you. I always ask myself the question, what could be amazing about this, and what does Allah want to teach me through this, even when it's something tough? What does Allah want to teach me through this? Because I know that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to teach me something, it is me who's going to win at the end, right? I'm the one who is going to benefit. I'm the one who's going to up level. I'm the one who's going to learn new skills, who's going to become more adaptable, more resilient, stronger, braver, more courageous. All of that is my payoff, right? For an unfamiliar situation, for a challenge. And that's the thing about challenges. A lot of people think that like an easy life or a good life is one where everything comes easily. But I don't agree with that at all. I think that challenges are there. I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests those he loves, and we know this. And we know that this life is a place of test and examination. And I also believe that every test is there to bring something out in us, to teach us something, to open our eyes to something that we are going to need in the future. So whether it is self-reliance, whether it's discipline, whether it is, like I said, determination, whether it's patience, whether it's faith, whether it's courage, whether it's love, whatever it is, every challenge is there to teach us. So instead of being afraid of challenges, instead of trying to avoid them, Bismillah, let's embrace those challenges. Let's bring them on. It's like, bring on the challenges. I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has equipped me with everything I need to crush this, okay, and to get everything I need out of this situation, out of this challenge. So similarly, with this Ramadan, as unique as it is, use the frame of gratitude and opportunity to see where those blessings are. And concentrate on those blessings. Concentrate on being grateful for even the smallest things. And just make a decision, guys. I'm going to talk about that in my next point, inshallah. But reframing, my dear sisters, is something you can use not just for this Ramadan, but for every relationship in your life, for every challenge in your life, every circumstance you find yourself in. Always ask yourself, what frame am I using? And is that serving me right now? Am I using the right frame to open my eyes to the right things, meaning the things in this situation that are going to benefit me, that are going to bring something to my life, that are going to help me to level up and be a better person? Is my frame showing me those things, or is it cutting me off from those things? Is it showing me one side of the picture and not the full picture? And maybe if I concentrate on this other half of the picture, I will see what is in this for me, and I will get what it is I need to get from the situation, and I'll learn the lesson that I need to learn. Okay, so reframing is the first one. Second tip, second strategy, second rule is to rewrite the rules. I mean, now we're 10 days in, so subhanallah, we've had some time to get into the flow, to get used to things. So it may not even be a case of rewriting the rules for you, because your rules may already have been rewritten. But I guess one of the things that I would say is, whatever you've decided about how you want to spend this month, decide to set up the rules in a way that allows you to win. And this is the same, not just in Ramadan, but in life. Because sometimes you find that we actually set up the rules in a way that basically means we will fail. I'm going to say that again. It's quite a heavy thing. There are people who set up the rules of their lives in a way that almost guarantees that they will fail, or that their chances of success are very slim. For example, if you set the rules up that I'll be successful when my irrational husband is happy with me. So he's one of those people who has a short temper or whatever, right? But in your head, you will not taste success until he's happy with you. You've kind of set the rules up in a certain way, sis, which means that you are always going to be on the losing side, or you're most often going to be on the losing side. Similarly, if you have children with special needs, and in your head, success will be if those children pass the 11 plus and go to a private school that requires only the top level of intellectual children, or whatever, academic children, right? Or not even special needs. It could just be that they're not academic and that their skill lies elsewhere. And you know this, but in your head, you've decided, no. My standard is private school, academic, university, all the way. Well, you may have set the rules up in a way that almost guarantees that you fail, or that you feel a constant sense of failure because your circumstances do not enable that particular rule to be adhered to, right? So give me a yes, please, if that's making sense. I'm just reading some of the questions here. Is that so it can be used as an escape or be the victim? I'm not sure what your question is about, sis. Maybe you want to ask me a full question, because I'm not sure what you were referring to there. So guys, the rewriting of the rules means acknowledging where we are with our time, with our family situation, with where we're living, and making decisions about what's important, what is a priority, what is absolutely not a priority, what we are prepared to sacrifice for, and what we are not prepared to put any emotional energy towards. And the amazing thing is that, you know, you have the autonomy to make those rules for yourself. So rewriting the rules means that you get to decide if you and your family want to eat rice and beans for the rest of Ramadan. If you guys will decide that and there's no pressure from outside, who's to tell you shouldn't do that? Nobody. If you decide that you're going to go vegan this Ramadan, go for it. If you decide that I'm going to try a different dish every day and I'm going to be killing it in that kitchen and I'm going to come out of Ramadan a gourmet chef, go for it, right? Because there are no rules from outside this Ramadan. And me personally, I have to say, I find it I'm finding it very liberating. That I know what I have to do. I have my salah, I have my psalm, I have my Quran, I have my dhikr, I have the really important, you know, Islamic bonding that I'm finding time to have with my children, whether it is watching a video or doing like a quiz or just having a conversation, having discussions about deen. For me, that's amazing, because we haven't done it for years. Somebody else, you may be at a different level, at a different stage, and so it will look different for you. But the point is, for me, I'm not going to set myself up in comparison to you to ensure that basically I can't pass and I'm going to fail in my life. No, I'm going to, inshallah, I'm running my race just like every single one of you is running your own race. And this is something that I say to my clients all the time, and that is, you are running your own race. You pay attention to what is in your lane, because the only person that you can really ever compete with and who you really should be competing with is the person you were 6 months ago, the person you were a year ago, the person you were 5 years ago. Not your sister, not your friend, not your mum, not the neighbor, not so-and-so on Instagram, you. Because nobody else out there has the same set of skills and challenges as you do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us all in our own lanes. Destination pretty much the same, but our lanes are different. So the more we pay attention to slaying in our lane as well as staying in our lane, then inshallah the more fulfilled we will be, and actually the more progress we will make. Because a lot of the time when we spend time in that space of comparison, we hold ourselves back, because either we're doing way better than everybody else and then we get embarrassed and we don't want people to think that we think we're too nice or that we think too much of ourselves, and so we try to dim our light, which is one way it can go. Or we compare ourselves to people who are way ahead of us, and then we feel intimidated and we feel like we're worthless and we've been wasting our time and what are we doing, and all of that negative stuff. And that's one thing that in all my programs I try to teach my students and my clients. The negative emotions is where you want to spend the least amount of time. That whole spectrum of negative emotion, where anger, rage, frustration, aggression, even like the more passive ones like boredom, apathy, going towards sadness, guilt, shame, blame, all of those negative emotions, that whole spectrum, none of it is serving you. None of it. If you've done something and it was the wrong thing, it's okay. Make your tawbah, learn from it, and move on. That's it. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. If you've done something, if you've done the wrong thing, it's okay. Make your tawbah, learn your lesson, and keep it moving. what so many of us do is we realize we've made a bad decision, we've done the wrong thing, and we make it about us. We give it a meaning. Oh, I did this because I fill in the blank. I am stupid. I was dumb. I should have known better. I didn't listen. I let him do that. I didn't stand up for myself. I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish. I'm not worthy. I'm a failure. All of this stuff. We make it about ourselves. And where do we go? Into the negative emotions. And if we are an extroverted person, we may go into anger, okay, and aggression, frustration. But if we're introverted, then it comes inward and it becomes shame, it becomes guilt, and we blame ourselves. And I'm just here to tell you that nothing good comes from that, sis. All you're doing is disempowering yourself. What is upon you, what you are supposed to do, is recognize the mistake. Have the self-awareness to recognize that it was a bad call, that it was a mistake. Make your tawbah. Do, whatever you need to do, if you need to make it up to the other person or whatever it is. But most importantly, learn the lesson and keep it moving. Because then you will not need to go through that thing again and again and again so that you learn the lesson. Because if you didn't learn it the first time, what's going to happen, guys? You're going to be in that same situation so you can learn again and again and again until you get it. So this is a huge part of the work that many of us need to do to let go of things that we are holding on to from the past, things we are still blaming ourselves for from the past. And a lot of people say, yes, but what if Allah hasn't forgiven me? And so it's Ramadan. If you've done something that is needing Allah's forgiveness, make your tawbah. But if you did already make tawbah, why are you holding on to the story that maybe Allah hasn't forgiven me? Because there's no proof for that. There's no evidence for that. If you made sincere tawbah and you fulfilled the conditions of tawbah, which we know what they are, that you're truly sorry, that you repent to Allah, that you make right any wrongs, and you make intention not to do it again. If you have got those categories, if you have abided by the conditions of tawbah, what is the reason that you are saying that, oh, maybe Allah hasn't forgiven me? Okay, so you need to look at that, because a lot of the time it's just you holding on to the guilt. It's just you holding on to the shame because you can't bear to accept, this is what I did. It's okay. I've learned from it, I've done my tawbah, and I'm ready to move on. So if that's you, sis, please do make the decision this Ramadan to move on from your mess. Don't carry that mess with you. Don't carry the baggage with you. Everything is there to teach us. Everything, everyone is there to teach us. It's quite simple. Everything, everyone is simply there to teach us and help us to purify ourselves and become better versions of ourselves. So don't make it mean more than it does. Don't make it into something that it isn't. Anyway, I went off on a tangent there. My apologies. So the third thing that I want to say to everyone, inshallah, is relax into the new normal. Especially those of you, the perfectionists out there, and also those who are under certain pressures, maybe if you're a mum on your own with kids, or, you have just a difficult living situation. My advice this Ramadan really is just to take care of yourself. Self-care is going to be one of your priorities this month. This month, in the midst of a global pandemic, with all the children at home homeschooling, with people losing jobs and there being all this uncertainty, this might not be the month that you feel able to do 20 items on your checklist every single day and and it may be, but it may not be. And if it's not, that's okay. Okay, Allah knows your situation. Allah knows what you can bear. Allah knows the situation we are all in. So my advice is really just to take a breath. Take a breath and just know that when you're able to take care of yourself, it's going to benefit everyone in your family. And the more you hold on to stress and anxiety, the more it's going to affect you and affect your family. And that's not what they need from you right now. They need you to be a stable, loving presence, to the best of your ability, sis. So whatever you need to do to get yourself there, my advice is do it. All right. And I'd like to just finish off with sharing a couple of poems from my books. So this here is Catch Me. This was my first poetry book. And I'm just going to read a short piece of prose from it because it kind of relates to some of the stuff that, we've been talking about. It's called Cleansed. We don't ask for the test, but still it comes. And when it does, it is like the rain, fierce, cleansing, stripping us of all our complacency, our self-satisfaction, our forgetfulness. And like the rain, our tears flow, taking us back to the prayer mat, back to the open hands, back to the one who sent the test, the only one who can release us and make us whole again. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. Alhamdulillah for it all. And then this is from Catch Me, which is prose and poetry from the Iddah. We published them both. They're available on Amazon, inshallah. And this one is called Strange. If you have a copy at home, you can follow along. So I really like this one. Bismillah. Isn't it strange that we love although the promise of loss is ever present? Isn't it strange that we hold although the threat of separation is always there? Isn't it strange that we birth although the inevitability of death is a constant reminder? Isn't it strange? Isn't it strange that our hearts can break and heal and break only to heal again? Scar tissue crisscrossing like embroidery, holding it together, just like we hold it together, just like He holds us together. Aren't we strange? Aren't we strange and wonderful? My dear sisters, that concludes my live. Thank you so much for your attention. Remember those 3 rules: reframe, rewrite the rules, and relax. And I hope that you've enjoyed my little takeover. I just want to ask Allah to bless all the sisters who have put this amazing thing together, who have been part of this amazing movement, and all of you who've been on for the ride. I love you all. Just follow me on Instagram, send me a DM if you want to know more about working with me or the poetry or anything. I'm your sister. Reach out to me, I'm there. All right, my dears. Subhanak Allahumma rabbana wa hamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.